This is your brother Shamar from the Felix Camp. And with that being said, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders of Great Millstone. And peace and salutations to the brothers that are doing this work in truth and sincerity. And we're going to jump right into the lesson. This is Joshua 24:15. And it says, "And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom you will serve. Whether the gods which your fathers served there on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites in whose land you dwell. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord." So the Lord, He demands that you either have full commitment or be destroyed. That's just the way it is. There's a zero tolerance policy with the Lord, man. There's no middle ground. There's no in between. Let's jump down to verse 20. It says, "If ye forsake the Most High and serve strange gods, then He will turn and do you hurt." Let's get that footnote for the word hurt. "Harm, and consume you after He has done you good." And the people said unto Joshua, "Nay, but we will serve the Most High." And Joshua said unto the people, "Ye are witnesses against yourself, that ye have chosen to serve Him." And they said, "We are witnesses. Now therefore put away," said he, "the strange gods which are among you, and incline your heart to the Lord power of Israel." So when you come into this truth, you make your really the decision is made for you, because all the predestination. But you vocally what's what I'm trying to say? Declare that you're serving the Lord, and you agree to do His work. You agree to fulfill the obligations that are bestowed upon you, whatever your office in the body is. So that's what it is, man. That's the calling. The calling is to serve the Lord. The calling is for obedience, because that's what the kingdom's going to be all about. Obedience, the law in our inward parts. That's why we're under curses, because of obedience, because the lack of obedience. Obedience is what makes everything run smoothly. When there is no obedience, there's rebellion. And that's why you see our people in the condition that they are in today. That's why you see, your family members, the women of our nation. They're in a state of fucking chaos, man. Because they don't have any obedience towards the Most High, which is ultimately to fear the Lord. So I'm going to get a few scriptures that pretty much proves the Most High. He has a zero tolerance policy, man. He has a zero tolerance policy, and it shows you the harshness of the Lord, man, because that's what's said in verse 20. It says, "You forsake the Lord and serve strange gods, then He will turn and do you hurt or harm." Let's get the blue letter for that word hurt, or the Strong's, however you want to call it. It says to be bad, to be evil, to be displeasing, to be sad, to be injurious, to be evil. So He's going to be injurious toward you in the form of death, man. The Lord's gonna hurt you in the form of taking your life, the form of these curses, in the form of just putting it on you, the form of smoting you as madness, the form of turning into a drug addict. The Lord, that's a curse, man. The form of you just being fucking bonkers. Smite was madness. And that's the condition that you see our people in today, full of madness, death, disease, corruption, no morals, no integrity, no character, just completely and totally lost. Why? Because they did not choose, or they did not declare to serve the Most High. They declared to serve to strange gods. And the strange gods are the philosophies of America, man. The hedonistic philosophies of America. That's what a woman is. She serves pleasure. That's what these 2/3 Jakes, you so-called black and 2 Native Americans. Your God is pleasure, man. Your God is fulfillment of your own desires. That's a strange God. But for that, the Lord's going to put a hurting on you. It says so in the scriptures. And that's what the men of the Lord, starting with the elders and apostles on down, that's what we go out and declare. We declare that our nation must be in obedience towards His word or face judgment. We know that this is only for the elect, for the seed of the elect, but it's a warning to the disobedient. It's a warning to the rebellious, that there's a judgment, there's a hurt coming towards you for your pulling away of the shoulder. So let's get Psalm 94:16. This is the Psalms. It's a lot. This Psalms 94 and 16. It says, "Who will rise up for me against the evildoers? Who will stand up for me against the workers of iniquity?" Because the Lord, his MO, or the way that He does things, is that he calls and chooses men to be His representatives on earth. Ambassadors. We went into that scripture about the ambassador Yahushua. And he puts those men against the evildoers. Let's get another scripture. Set thy face. And the main evildoer is Esau Edom, so-called white man, the wicked of the earth. Let's get see if we find it. It's a lot. The scripture, Psalm 94:16 said, "Who will rise up against the evildoers?" This is Ezekiel 35, even where's it at? Yeah, verse 1 said, "Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus saith the Most High Power, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate." Let's get the footnote. The desolation in the waste. "I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Most High." And then, of course, it goes on to identifiers, because thou hast perpetual hatred, and shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, the time of their iniquity had an end. So that's an identifier. Who was against the sons of Israel? The so-called black and true Native American, Esau Edom. He's the main one. Look in the history books. He's the main nation, the main people that have a history of violence and corruption and attempted genocide against the black, Latino, and Native American, which are the Israelites according to the Bible. It says, by the force of the sword. Okay, who's blessing with the sword? Esau Edom. Who was the Lord's sword, or the Lord's punishing stick on the left-hand side? Esau Edom. That's King David wrote about that. So we are set up to rise up against the evildoers, and that requires that you be stern. There's another scripture I'm gonna get. So this is Ezekiel 3:8. Said, "Behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, and their foreheads strong against their foreheads, and thy forehead strong against their foreheads. And as an adamant," let's get that footnote, "adamant stone harder than flint have I made thy forehead. Fear them not, neither be dismayed at their looks, though they be rebellious house." And the perfect example of that was the elder Manata Zakba, when he had that demon, get up in his face, man. And you saw the elder. You saw the elder hold his ground. You saw the elder make a stern stand. You saw the elder made his face strong against that fucking lunatic's face, that demon's face. You saw his forehead strong against his forehead, strong against that demon's forehead. And that's a stern man right there, man. That's an austere man. And that's the spirit that the prophets are in. We're in that spirit to stand stern to set our face against, and that's to stand stern against, to rise up against the evildoers. So you got to understand the caliber of man and the spirit that you got to be in doing this truth. You know, they always talk about alpha male, sigma male. You know, these blue pill, whatever you want to call it, whatever groups. And if you really look at all these groups and the things that they promote, the blue pill people and the blue pill groups and the alpha male groups, they really, and you know, and the whole Andrew Tate thing, when you really examine it, everything that the majority of what they're saying about manhood, it's in the scriptures, man. It's in the scriptures. You know, you know, the scriptures is where the true alpha male and the true you know, all this blue pill stuff, it's all in there. Because the scriptures tell you not to bow down to a woman, man. Not to give that stringer to a woman. They tell you how to be. They tell you how to be stern and austere. You know, so going back to the lesson, there you gotta have a stand. There's gotta be zero tolerance in your life for bullshit. There's gotta be zero tolerance for your life for foolishness. You know? Now amongst brothers and amongst each other, you know, we of course we let down our guard and we you know, we enjoy each other's company, man, in the form of fellowship. You know, brothers get together, have a drink or a meal. You know, the form of you know, joking around and stuff like that, man, amongst each other. But outside of that circle, hey, fuck everybody, man. You can't. I saw that circle once you leave the presence of the brotherhood, man, and you go out back to the so-called matrix, back to the living amongst the serpents, then that's where you got to put your defenses back up, man. You got to put your sternness back up. You got to put your you always got to have standards, but you got to put your guard up again, man. You got to back up your zero tolerance for bullshit mindset. You know, and like I said, there's many examples in the scriptures that show that there's a zero tolerance mindset. Let's get Matthew 12:30. Let's get Salak. Matthew 12. And that's why, brothers, man, if we're not hanging around or we're not holding camp or fellowshipping, most of the time we just keep to ourselves, man. We don't go fucking nowhere, and we just be at home and shit, you know. You know, some brothers, you know, hit the gym with the other brothers and, you know, this, that, the other. But for the most part, man, we don't like hanging around these fucking heathens 2/3 and being around the mess of them in these crowds, you know. But let's get Matthew 12:30. It says, "He that is not with me is against me, and he that gathers not with me is scattered abroad." So once again, hey, should you this day? You know, let's get Exodus 30 and 32 and 20. Just Exodus 32 and 20. And it says, that what it is? It's a lot, man. So, like, I don't know if you got that, but I'm gonna run that back again. Like I said, this is this is hardcore right here. So this is Exodus 32 and 25 or 26. It says, "Then Moses stood in the gate of the camp and said, Who is on the Lord's side? Let him come unto me." And all the sons of Levi gathered themselves unto him. The Levites, you know, they were the priests. I don't know if I said this before, but I don't know if it was recorded or not. But I'm just gonna repeat it again. You know, the sons of Levi gathered together unto him, and the Levites were the priests. You know, and that's what we are. You know, we're likened unto to the priests, because we hold a priestly office. You know, in teaching and bringing out this word. And he said unto them, thus says the Lord power of Israel, put every man his sword by side, and go in and out from the gate, go in and out from gate to gate throughout the camp. And that's what we do. We go out from gate to gate, man. The gates of the city. And slay every man his brother, and every man his companion, and every man his neighbor. And then that's what we do, but our sword is it says that here, put every man his sword by his side. Hey, that's what we do. Our sword is the scriptures. Scriptures talk about the word of the Most High being a two-edged sword. And we slay, we cut. The scripture talk about cutting, to the very. I'm just go ahead and get it, man. Slug, yeah. Hebrews 4 and 12. For the word of the Most High is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing sunder of soul and spirit, and the joints and marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. So see, the word is likened unto a sword, man. I'm going to find another scripture, kid, in my mind. Going to jump down to verse 17, Ephesians 6:17. It said, take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Yahweh. You see that? So going back to Exodus 32, not that one. Salakia. Yeah, right here. Exodus 32 and 27. And he said unto them, thus saith the Lord power of Israel, put every man his sword by his side, and go in and out from the gate throughout the camp, and slay every man his brother, and every man's companion, every man his neighbor. And in a spiritual sense, we do that because we bring forth the judgment of the Lord through the word to the rebellious, to the scornful, to the disobedient, to the 2/3 of our people. So that's hard right there, man. That's the zero tolerance policy, and that's the austere mentality that you got to have as a man in this truth. There's many examples of that through the scriptures, many examples, that brothers have shown. We're out there, what we call the battlefield, man. But with that being said, just a real quick lesson. Most High willing and hope is edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Kahala Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Brothers, keep on pushing. Shalom.